I had learned two important rules during my first month on the Galactic Exchange Station. First, never assume you understand alien body language. Second, if an alien smiles at you, there is a very real chance your life is about to change forever. I was just a logistics officer from Earth, nothing special. No enhanced genes, no combat augmentations, no diplomatic pedigree. I managed cargo schedules, verified manifests, and made sure the station's trade lanes didn't collapse into bureaucratic chaos. Humanity had only recently earned its seat among the stars, and we were still considered quaint, physically unimpressive, emotionally volatile, surprisingly stubborn. That last trait would come back to haunt me. The exchange station was massive, an artificial world where dozens of species lived, traded, and argued under a fragile peace enforced by mutual self-interest. It was also where I met Lariah. She was Keltari. At first glance, she looked almost fragile. Slender frame, pale lavender skin, long silver hair like tendrils that shifted color with her emotions. Her species had large, luminous eyes and delicate facial structures that made other races instinctively want to protect them. That instinct was a mistake. Keltari society was built on bonds, emotional, social, and biological. They formed lifelong pairings early, and those bonds carried legal, military, and even political weight. A bonded Keltari was never alone. I didn't know any of that when I bumped into her in Corridor 12. We both dropped what we were carrying. I apologized. She laughed, a soft, musical sound that made several nearby aliens glance our way. We talked. Then talked again. And again. Soon, she started waiting for me near the logistics hub, bringing me strange Keltari snacks that glowed faintly and tasted like honey and spice. Asking endless questions about Earth. Why do humans live with animals? She asked once. Because they are family, I replied. She tilted her head, eyes bright. I like that. Over weeks, our friendship grew. To me, it was simple companionship. To her, it was something else. I noticed the looks her people gave us. Curious. Then approving. Then expectant. I should have asked questions sooner. The moment everything changed came during the Keltari Cultural Convergence, a social gathering where different species showcased traditions. I attended as part of a human delegation, mostly to smile politely and not cause an interstellar incident. Lariah arrived with several other Keltari females, all wearing ceremonial markings that shimmered like starlight. When she saw me, her entire posture shifted, shoulders back, tendrils glowing softly. She walked straight over. Before I could say a word, she took my arm, turned to her friends, and said, clearly and proudly, "This is my husband." Then she smiled. The room went silent. Every Keltari froze. My brain shut down. "I'm what?" I whispered. Her smile widened, full of warmth and certainty. "Husband," she repeated, as if explaining the sky was blue. The Keltari around us reacted instantly. Some bowed their heads. Others touched their foreheads in respect. One of them looked at me with something dangerously close to awe. The human delegation stared at me like I'd just declared war. I gently leaned closer to Lariah. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." She blinked. "Has there?" "Yes," I hissed. "I never agreed to marriage." Her tendrils dimmed slightly. Confusion crossed her face. "But you chose me." "I chose to be your friend." She looked genuinely startled. "Those are not different things." The fallout was immediate. In Keltari law, a public declaration of bonding, especially witnessed by peers, was binding unless formally challenged. And challenging it wasn't just a legal act, it was a rejection that carried deep shame. The Keltari Council summoned us within hours. They were tall, imposing, their delicate appearance hiding a society built on emotional strength and unbreakable loyalty. Their spokesperson addressed me calmly. "Human," she said, "do you deny this bond?" Every eye was on me. If I said yes, Lariah would be disgraced. If I said no, I had no idea what I'd be agreeing to. I looked at Lariah. She wasn't pleading. She wasn't manipulating. She was afraid. I swallowed. "I don't deny it," I said slowly, but I didn't understand what it meant. Murmurs rippled through the council. "Understanding can come," the spokesperson said. "Commitment cannot be false." They gave us time. Time to learn. Time to choose. Over the next cycles, I was immersed in Keltari culture. I learned what bonding truly meant: shared emotional resonance, mutual protection, responsibility beyond the self. A bonded partner would stand with their mate against family, council, even their own species. And I learned why Lariah chose me. "You stayed," she said one night, sitting beside me as the station's stars drifted past the viewport. "Others leave when things are difficult. You stayed when you didn't have to." "That's just being human," I said. She smiled softly. "That is why." The decision was taken from us sooner than expected. A hostile species, one that viewed the Keltari as weak, attempted to coerce trade concessions through force. They boarded the station, expecting little resistance from the gentle bond-focused race. They hadn't accounted for humans. When the station's defenses were compromised, it was humans who formed evacuation lines, who held corridors with improvised weapons, who refused to abandon civilians. I found myself fighting, not as a soldier, but as a man protecting the woman beside him. When it was over, the station scarred but standing, the Keltari looked at humanity differently. And they looked at me with reverence. Before the council, Lariah stood tall. "This is my husband," she said again. "He chose us." This time, I didn't hesitate. I took her hand. "I did," I said. "And I still do." The bond was sealed properly this time, by choice, not accident. Months later, as I stood beside her on a Keltari world beneath alien skies, I realized something important. Humanity had come to the stars thinking we were small, weak, unimportant. But out here, among beings who valued loyalty above power, compassion above strength, we were something rare. We were the ones who stayed. And when the alien girl smiled and called me her husband, she wasn't claiming me. She was trusting me. And that, more than anything, is what made humanity strong.